finish off poorly against Mind Freak in week 1. I think that was a little wake-up call, though, for Sydney Drop Bears.
Well, I think the Drop Bears obviously changed their main tank as well, right?
Yep.
So there's something to be said there, I think, in the first week as well. No first week nerves now. There could be third week nerves, but you should be getting used to it by this time of the season. That's for sure. Oh, look, so much damage going on to Athletico to start things off. Almost immediately, the whole team down to 50% HP.
Yeah, I mean, Sydney Drop Bears just there a little bit quicker than Athletico, and as a result, the Reinhardt in a much better position. Tidawat, as soon as Athletico make their way up that stair, he's cleaving through 3 or 4 players.
Yeah, right there, into the thick of things, looking good. And Drop Bears coming out aggressively. Tidawat already has an Earth Shatter available. And if I'm Athletico, I am probably not expecting the ulti to come out from Tidawat just yet.
No, probably not. They will be aware that a lot of damage did come from the Reinhardt, though, so they may be thinking about it, but this looks like it's going to be a boot from Bertlog. Doesn't really open the opportunity. Never mind,
yes, it does.
It does.
Yeah. And they all go down. One boop, one ultimate. The fight is over. The Drop Bears lose no one. We're already up to 30%.
The Skittles all falling down. It's like bowling pins even. The Shadow was the bowling ball. Athletico so far haven't got anything done in 2 fights. Could make the argument for Sydney Drop Bears that they want to win these fights maybe a little less cleanly because it's 2 fights lost for Athletico, but only 40% timed up here for Sydney Drop Bears. But they are giving them a lot of opportunities at least.
They are. They're getting a lot of fights through. Gives Athletico a little bit more time, or a little bit more fights, I suppose, but they're going to need to win one of them. A Kraken has Transcendence, as does Aki. Evie almost goes down, and she will eventually. Aki pops that Transcendence too little, too late, unfortunately. It will keep 4 alive, but it just makes this fight take longer, Elfishguy.
Yeah, just a little bit of an overextension there from Evie. I mean, we're kind of getting a little bit of a sense of how the rest of this series might go as well, because just how clean every single one of these fights for Sydney Drop Bears has been. I don't think anyone on Sydney Drop Bears has died yet. We'll kind of keep tracking that because it may actually be the case for the first map or even
now that's
first
getting
couple of
ahead
maps.
Of yourself, Jordan.
I don't know. Sydney Drop Bears, they're looking good today, Ben. They're looking good. They're looking really coordinated. One more fight attempt here for Athletico. They do have some ultimates.
Yeah, and Tidawat already has an Earth Shatter available once again. Ford has one available this time, throws it through. Don't think we really get what we need to there, blocked by the Zarya. And damage coming through. Past CKM down. Elfishguy, I don't know if they're going to drop a player at all. And they drop 2 to start things off on this fight. But we're into overtime on the point. And Athletico bring it back around and do so reasonably well. They lost a couple of players, but now they have to defend against the best team in the region for a full 99%. Yeah,
and we saw how that went for a team like Legacy, for example, against Ground Zero, where the discrepancy probably isn't as far as it is between the 2 teams we're watching right now. Legacy was not able to come back from the 99% deficit. I don't expect that Athletico will be able to either. It gives so much time here for Sydney Drop Bears to build all those ultimates up and so many opportunities for them to really just come smashing against Athletico once again. Graviton Surge up very shortly here for Sydney Drop Bears. Shoyo with the self-destruct waiting in the wings as well, but they don't even need it. They're going to go now.
Earth Shatter available for 4. He will throw it down. Picks up 2, including Haas. That's a lot of the damage eliminated from that particular fight for the Drop Bears, thanks to a decent Earth Shatter, but it will not matter. Shoyo comes through with the self-destruct, finds Ada, finds D-Field. 4 goes down as well. The Drop Bears will find the point once again and flip this across at 50%. Overtime will go in their favor, and they'll be 1-0 up here on Nepal.
Easy peasy for Sydney Drop Bears, really. Only the 1 fight lost, and that was really as a result of Athletico saving all their ultimates through to just the 1 fight. When they had a significant advantage, they were able to pick up the win, but everything that was kind of on an even playing field, it really was Sydney Drop Bears quite considerably being able to finish those off. All right. Athletico, what's the change up, if any? Looks like it'll be just Goats, but Winston Goats this time. Same for Sydney Drop Bears. You want the extra mobility.
I would totally go for this team comp, by the way. Just saying.
I kind of almost feel like Sydney Drop Bears could do what they want and get away with it.
Would that be BM, though? Like, just coming out with
a little bit, yes.
Something insane.
It would be.
And winning anyway. So it's Winston up against Winston. This is what we saw first match of the day as well on Sanctum, so no surprise there, I suppose. Atar looking a little bit low, going to get caught out there. Choyo using that Diva fist to the face. And Athletico, unfortunately, will have to reset. The Drop Bears get the control point to start things off here.
Easy done for Sydney Drop Bears. Nice positioning being set up here as well, but Choyo does decide to back away. Looks like Athletico are at least going to get out of their spawn quite safely. Now, where do they go from here? Rotating through all the way around to Sydney Drop Bears' side of the map.
Yep.
Oh, no. 404, Winston not found.
That's my Macca's play of the game.
Not getting any cheeseburgers for that one.
Oh, dear. Why go on to the objective when you can go downstairs?
I think what happened there is that he might have gotten right-clicked by Huss and went a little bit further than he expected.
Yeah. I think you're probably correct, but it was a little bit funny.
It was very funny indeed. Oh, well, that kind of is the game summed up for Athletico, isn't it? Really, they haven't had much of a chance. Sydney Drop Bears have just been battering them. And nothing seems to be going right for Athletico thus far. But another attempt, still 49% only for Sydney Drop Bears.
Look, if you're going to lose a fight, you may as well lose it quickly, and that's what Athletico have been doing. Going to try and push their way onto the point third time around, but look, not going to happen this time either. At least they're good at resetting. Not helping them with... oh, that was not good. That's going to cost them time.
That's a really BM thing to say as well, Ben. That's just like saying, at least they're really good at losing.
Well... You can be good at losing, like not, you know what I mean?
I know what you're trying to say.
Everyone's going to lose eventually.
From Tita1, he's literally on his own. That's an overextension if I've ever seen one, but he does have Primal Rage, so maybe not. We'll get back out. I don't know, sort of feels like a waste of the Primal Rage.
Yeah.
But again, it's these kind of things that Sydney Drop Bears can get away with that other teams can't.
Costing Athletico time, and the Drop Bears have so much to work with, including that very long-range grab and a long-range self-destruct. It's a 2 for 2 on the self-destruct. Everyone's being exploded all over the place right now. But with overtime going in the Drop Bears' favour, this Primal Rage on 4 is going to need to come back across onto the point. But he will eventually go down, and Nepal will go across to the Sydney Drop Bears, 2-0.
Well, not much to say about that one, Ben.
No.
Obviously, Sydney Drop Bears, a much better side. In all facets of the game, it was kind of from square one, the dry fights where there was no ultimates, Sydney Drop Bears were better. Once the ultimates start to come up, Sydney Drop Bears get a lot of value out of theirs. Athletico start to maybe turn it around when they've kind of lost a few fights in a row and forced out some of the ults of Sydney Drop Bears, but then it's a little bit too late anyway, and Athletico get punched away straight at the next opportunity from Sydney Drop Bears coming back into the fight.
Look, so these replays, Jordan, these highlights are literally just going to be cool plays played by the Sydney Drop Bears. And as far as I'm concerned, may as well just start the second half.
Yep, I don't disagree with you. I mean, there's not really too much to unpack there because it's just kind of Sydney Drop Bears with the fundamentals doing so much better than Athletico. I mean, there's a little bit of a mispositioning at times from Athletico, some players overextending, maybe some players not quite following up as much, but for Sydney Drop Bears, they work so well together as a unit. They're always coordinated, and obviously the little things like that. Poor 4. I can't believe that even went into the highlights package. Oh, he's not going to be feeling too happy about that. But look, end of the day, it's probably the expected result there, at least on Nepal heading into Blizzard World.
Yeah.
We expect the same thing again. Now, I wonder, does Sydney Drop Bears start on attack or on defense here? I'm not sure what they've tended to do throughout this season so far, but normally we see the team that gets to choose starting on the defense. I think if you're Sydney Drop Bears here, you probably want to just wrap this series up pretty quickly. Start on the defense, hold them on first, finish it quickly on that given map. That's my ethos as well.
That would be mine, right?
Right?
All right, let's just get this done. But you can't underestimate Athletico because, John, here's the because, right?
Okay.
Here's the because.
I'm ready.
Firstly, again, maps are important, right? Secondly, this Athletico lineup, this is a team that made it through to semis in Season 3 2018, And you're saying that theoretically, on paper, this is a better lineup than that lineup.
Well, interesting that you mentioned that they got through to semis, Ben, because when they did get through to semis, they played against Sydney Drop Bears and they lost 3-0.
Well, it's true. It is true. But, you know, it's on the big stage and it's be a little bit nervy. I think some of the players were a little bit nervy.
Yeah. I mean, on the big stage in playoffs, it's still technically in your bedroom. So it's not all that much pressure compared to finals, for example. Like when you get to finals, sure, I can kind of go with that train of thought there.
But they were. What do you mean?
Atletico. Oh, okay.
They did make it to
for Zol and for Aki, but I thought you were talking about the core roster being breakaway,
right?
Which is D field for an Aki.
No. Rest in peace, breakaway. Anyway, let's see what drop bears they're going to come out on attack. So we're not going to be seeing what we thought we might, which was potential for a quick one.
Quad DPS, well, triple DPS. The Kraken's still going to be playing Ana. So 2 supports actually, which is contrary to the norm sometimes with this kind of a composition. CKM totally uncontested and raining down hell from above. 77% charged up already. He's going to have a rocket barrage before the first fight is even over, Ben.
And we've spoken about this a few times now. If you start off with the Farah on attack,
I think
your opponents can't do much with their ghost lineup.
No, they can't change up at all. I always feel at that point for CKM, you just throw the rocket barrage out there to kill the Baby Diva as maximum BM because you have just wiped Athletico so hard. Like that would be something I would do. Maybe I'm just a bad person. The roster change though for Athletico, of course, ATAR going to be going over onto McCree, so we see a little bit more to try and contend with CKM, but doesn't fill you with too much confidence here as Athletico. There's a lot of terrain that CKM can play around and keep himself safe while throwing out those rockets.
I do love this drop bears lineup, Jordan. Are you waiting for a big pulse bomb?
I am. Look at how clumped up they are as well.
See ya.
And there's the rocket barrage that I was talking about. Ford just face tanks it a little bit, and CKM inevitably does go down, but Sydney Drop Bears, far too easy for them. Off the back of that pulse bomb, they just totally collapse on Athletico and clean them up. Going into a close range angle like that, or maybe not a close range angle, I would say close quarters like that for Athletico, I'm not sure is the perfect decision.
Look at these team comps.
Because, like, how do you get out and contest the payload there? You've got to run into the rocket barrage. Not going to work.
Those feels when you only have one tank, Jordan. And it's a hamster.
That's my favorite kind of composition.
What does that even mean? Bertlock goes down, as does Aki. It's a 1-for-1 trade on supports. That coming through onto Ato is going to be forced back for now. A little bit sad for Aki that he didn't go down when he had that Transcendence available as well. Ato somehow manages to go down to the minefield. Payload, though, is not moving anywhere for now. We've got very, very close. 4 is close to going down, and looked like maybe Titawat was going to come through. I'm not even sure how he survives that. I think the Ana coming through was just in the nick of time. A Kraken saving the day.
MP.
Yeah.
This will be the turnaround for Sydney Drop Bears. Joyo just pops it out. Aki can't use the Transcendence in time.
Nope.
He'll drop. Joyo translocates out quite nicely. In the meanwhile, a Kraken fragging up on the Ana. Something that we are fairly accustomed to actually seeing when he does play that particular hero.
Yeah, look at this already. Through to the second objective, and I'm still not even sure what's going on here for the Sydney Drop Bears, but it's working. Talked about crazy team comps.
Well, ATAR has swapped back onto the Zaya, which kind of makes sense. DKM is off the Farah. And into the more close range engagements as well. So you're going to be a bit more useful here. Titawat engaging once again for the roster. Dragon Strike to come across, trying to combo with the pile driver. Won't work this time for Sydney Drop Bears. It does force the Transcendence out from Athletico.
Athletico finally find themselves in with a fight victory here. Coming in late, 4 minutes still on the clock as well. Payload's barely been stopped up until this point. Ford's taking a bit of damage. The Zarya bubble coming through keeps him alive. The payload gets moving once again. Haas back up with another pulse bomb, throws it straight out. Who do we stick?
4?
Well, I think it was 4, yeah, because the damage went down, but 4 did not. Actually ended up demeching Zol. So there you go.
Maybe it was a stick onto Zol and 4 was next to him. Either way, the damage was done, and Sydney Drop Bears are going to follow up on it. No, Diva mech. keep anyone safe. And again, another clean wipeout from Sydney Drop Bears. Ben, I think we're catching up on all that time that we lost in the Ground Zero versus Legacy Esports game. That one took a while. This one doesn't seem like it's going to be the case.
No, it does not seem like the case at all. Sydney Drop Bears very strong here on attack and doing so with a quite peculiar team comp, something we haven't seen in Australian contenders, really. Sound barrier going to come out from Bertlog. And Athletico's also been EMP'd, so you think this fight would go in the Drop Bears' favour, but the EMP fades off, as will the sound barrier. Husk goes down, but falls bound out by CKM. Transcendence popped by Aki.
Balls of steel from Aki as well, holding on that trans and actually trying to take that duel against Husk. In the end, that might have been a match-saving play, or at least a round-saving play for now, as he does try to hold on. Mines are going to come out as a result of this. Pile driver to follow up. I don't know that the Mines are ideally placed to find any kills. It is, of course, going to deny some positioning, but the Graviton Surge in response for Athletico and Sydney Drop Bears, this might be their first lost fight on Blizzard World.
Well, there you go. Finally, they all go down. One might say all of them, I mean, most of them. And the other two will follow up, and eventually, as they do lose a fight, they swap across back to Goats, by the looks of things.
Yep.
Very close to it.
I mean, the quad DPS, or the triple DPS really works when you have the space to make it work. And when you get into Phase C of Blizzard World, and I think indeed Phase C of a lot of maps, the triple DPS doesn't really become the ideal composition, because you just don't have the room to work with. Sydney Drop Bears, smart decision, plenty of time to work with to build the ultimates up if need be.
CKM already going down to Eevee though, so Athletico may be in a better position. Tier to what caught out also. Of course, with the Drop Bears swapping across onto new heroes, you'd think that they would have the ultimate disadvantage, but Tier to what already up to 70% there on the Earthshatter as well, so does not take this Sydney Drop Bears lineup very long at all.
No, it doesn't, but Athletico have done a really good job of slowing things down here. The momentum has not so much shifted away from Sydney Drop Bears, but it's at least been turned around a little bit. Athletico can hold their heads high. Now the time is not a massive, oppressive time bank.
4 goes down to Shoyo. It looked like he was going okay, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be the case. Hitawat's going to have this Earthshatter as well, which should clean up the remainder of Athletico if they do try and force their way onto the point. He charges all the way through, wants to get in behind them, ready for a big Q. Going to make life very tough right now for Athletico to recontest.
Baton Surge is
Do you
out.
charge?
Tidawat staying on the payload. You don't charge because they can't touch.
Yeah, but I want to charge them. Anyway,
that's why you're still in gold, mate.
Yeah, well. No, it's not my fault, Jordan. It's my teammates' fault, mate.
Yes. My mistake. Well, 52 seconds there for Sydney Drop Bears. Could have been a whole lot worse for Athletico.
Well, when we go back to our previous match and how well Legacy did here the first time around. And when you consider the Drop Bears started off very well here, I think that's not an awful result for Athletico.
No, it's not. I'm interested to know what Sydney Drop Bears will do now on the defense. Like, do we get to see a triple DPS setup on the defense as well, with the knowledge that if it doesn't work too well on the first point for Sydney Drop Bears, they're not going to be forced to swap in point B either, because it kind of plays around that triple DPS composition as well, being quite an open area with a fair bit of verticality to play around. Doesn't look like it based on those initial picks from Sydney Drop Bears, which is a little disappointing. Tidawat, of course, on the Sombra, but that's not going to last.
Following the probes out. Go.
Could be the triple DPS out for Athletico. Eevee to swap off onto the Mercy. D-Field onto Sombra, but the rest of those players on picks that actually you would expect them to be, if that's what the DPS, or if that's the triple DPS composition that they want to take. Like, these are the players that will play those respective characters.
Yes, well, we should definitely just go out with this entire lineup precisely how it is. No, not happening.
Okay,
anyway.
It's going to be the Ana.
I'll take it, though.
So, more of a dive composition, really, from Athletico than it is triple DPS. Obviously, in this case, we've only got the 2. Atar, what is he going to be able to do to fire? It worked very well for CKM, but it hasn't been as explosive of a start as it was for Sydney Drop Bears.
No, it hasn't. But look at this. So they're hiding in Snacks Ramus. waiting to re-engage altogether, I suppose, by the looks of things, not giving away any free early damage to ATAR. So sneaky beaky like just coming out before they get to that first tick. And with 4 going down to Bertlog as well, it's now going to be tough for Athletico to push through. So nice play there from the drop bears. Just no free damage across to the attacking Farah.
Really smart. As you say, they hide away from the Farah, the damage raining from above. And then as soon as Athletico start to get on that point, that's where Sydney Drop Bears know that they can engage, get that speed boost amp across, try to charge down one target. It works out nicely for Sydney Drop Bears. Once they eliminate one target, then the job gets tenfold more easy. And Athletico have to back away. Nicely done from Sydney Drop Bears. Now changing things up a little bit as well as they hold inside on the other side. ATAR putting some work in here. CKM fairly low, but gets healed back up. EMP available for D-Field. This could be big.
Yeah, this is the one they need. Throws it out, hits the majority. Everyone other than Titawat is picked up here by Athletico. And with the Kraken being found out as well, the question is, do the Drop Bears try and make something of this? Well, apparently, because Titawat pops the Primal Rage, he's going to try and get back onto the point, but he had been hacked as well. So Primal Rage, not so much Rage-like, to be perfectly honest. Not really sure how you hack a gorilla, but, you know, it is what it is.
Here for Haas. Definitely still a winnable scenario as the respawns start to come across as well. Athletico have not won that cleanly enough despite a good EMP.
Yeah, it's a little bit peculiar, but nevertheless, they're looking to make it 66% for now, though. Stuck at 58.1. The Transcendence coming out from a Kraken to get the team onto the point. ATAR doing a fair bit of work here as the Farah. Evie trying to keep him alive. But it's taking them a lot of time. They're still not up to 66%. They're still not up to that second tick, Jordan. And a lot of time going down the drain right now.
Yeah, and that kind of had all the pieces of the puzzle for Athletico in terms of trying to win that fight. Like, it was a good EMP. The follow-up was decent in terms of a Kraken going down pretty quickly. Same with Shoyo. But somehow Athletico can't completely wipe Sydney Drop Bears or taste them long enough that the respawns come across, and Athletico can recontest with the Transcendence that they didn't use through the EMP. And the Graviton Surge from Huss, which is almost being built back up again. It's 61% already. Athletico, they had everything. They've got another attempt here. Rocket Barrage EMP will be available for the fight, but if they can't cleanly wipe Sydney Drop Bears, that'll be that.
D-Field and 4 both finding picks.
ATAR's dead.
Yeah, that makes life tough. Sydney Drop Bears looking to bring one back as well, and with no Rocket Barrage in this fight, it can make things just that little bit more difficult. As Jordan says, ATAR brought back to life by EV, and now 4 onto Bertlog. Surely the Drop Bears can't win this fight.
No, it doesn't look like they are going to be able to. A couple of ultimates invested in there by Sydney Drop Bears, but Athletico will be successful in capping up point A. Shoyo is going to get staggered here as well, as the DMAC does come across. Nicely placed prediction rocket from ATAR. 2 minutes and 45 seconds are left for Sydney Drop Bears. Shoyo trying to put in some work. He's still alive. Is he going to get out of here alive? Looks like he might. Get the remake before the fight really even starts as well. Obviously, Sydney Drop Bears not interested in engaging a fight themselves. Mech's back.
Zol. D-Mech on the other hand. ATAR just lurking above the siege tank there. But we'll actually go down to Huss. That's a pretty big pick. No Rocket Barrage available if you're taken out by the McCree. And Huss is on fire.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to watch Huss play McCree, isn't it? Like, it feels like he almost never misses. It's one of the more satisfying things, I think, in Overwatch is playing McCree and hitting those headshots and hearing the dink sound.
This Deadeye is not in a bad spot either. Potential to just slow things down a little bit.
This is really some mind games from Sydney Drop Bears. Athletico have to figure out how do we get past this, because you don't normally hold in this situation.
Yeah. Wow. This is a bit of a dirty hold, to be perfectly honest, coming out. This is Drop Bears.
This is not something that Athletico is used to. Like, you don't, you know, you don't instantly see this defensive setup and think, okay, I know how to counter this. You have to actively think, how do we get out of our spawn here? Because we basically never fought against a team holding like this.
Do you swap to Somber and put someone on the payload? Like,
even then, that only forces maybe one player off from Athletico, probably the Diva. Oh, sorry, from Sydney Drop Bears. But
here's the Deadeye. Comes through. One gets caught out by Zol, but Ada still goes down. Huss finally taken out by 4. But time is running away right now for Athletico. Sydney Drop Bears managed to complete Blizzard World. 52 seconds still remaining on the clock. Unfortunately, it does not look like Athletico will get to the second objective, and that payload, which they got halfway there, has reversed its way back up the lot, all the way back to where it started.
Huss swapped off. Knows that his job is done on that McCree. Self-destruct going in from Sydney Drop Bears won't result in any kills. Aki with the Transcendence keeping Athletico fairly healthy right now, but there's still one in the back pocket for Sydney Drop Bears and a sound barrier as well. Sound barrier does go down to defend through the self-destruct of Athletico.
Shadow coming out from 4, you can hear that going through. Grab coming through also from Atar. Shoyo going to get D-Mac to Kraken. Pop Transcendence. Shoyo caught out in Baby Diva form, so that's one down. Tita so low, he'll get caught out as well. Athletico will run out of time, but they're on the payload.
Well, time is of the essence for Athletico, isn't it? But over time, we know that can take forever. As long as they win every single fight from here on out, they're going to be in a good spot. Huss, however, coming up shortly on the grab. Not only with the opportunity to just win the fight for Sydney Drop Bears, maybe he can grab them off the point. Cause some problems that way. Not much past that, though, for the follow-up for Sydney Drop Bears. Same can really be said for Athletico. They're waiting on a few ultimates as well. 93% though for 4.
Grab available for Huss. Throws it down, catches out a lot of players. The Earthshatter comes through as well. Tita eliminated here by Zol, so not a bad pick. 4 comes through as well. Atletico seemingly getting this fight win, even though it was Huss who came through with a great grab to start this off. Yeah, but it was an equally nice sound barrier down from Evie. Kraken putting in some damage. 2 headshot kills out from him. Maybe there's still a chance for Sydney Drop Bears, though a few of their players have gone down in the meanwhile as I speak. Burtlog hanging on to that sound barrier. Doesn't look like it's going to be invested here. Probably not a winnable fight for Sydney Drop Bears now that they are having to trickle onto the point. But again, just wasting as much time as possible of Athletico's. The overtime still possessing enough oomph to push it through for Athletico, though. Well, I guess, though, when you're at that point, you may as well just all die together, I mean, you can't give it up, right? Yeah. But it's also a frustration factor for Athletico, so... Maybe there's a chance to bait something out. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, back on the payload they are. 65 seconds now on the clock here for Athletico, but this is definitely doable if it is done. Probably done in overtime, but you can see the Drop Bears, they have that ultimate advantage. Only a few fights remaining for Athletico. Transcendence comes through. Earthshatter used as well by the Drop Bears. Tita gets a couple of players, but not sure if it's enough. No one's gone down yet. A Kraken... He's been knocked down by that. Earthshatter has his Burtlog. Sound barrier not yet coming out here for the Drop Bears, but oh my gosh. That boob, I don't know what it was that forced 4 into the air. Either it was Burtlog or it was the charge from Tita. I think it might have been the charge from Tita. Whatever the case, that has turned that into a pretty magnificent self-destruct. Start packing the cheeseburgers, Jordan. That's my Macca's play of the game right there. Definitely was a good one. So, about 10 seconds remains. Atletico going to push their way back onto the payload for one last attempt. They're going to throw out their self-destruct right now. Not in prime position, though. Tita gets a little bit, I think... Shield bashed up. Yeah, that's the one, but still manages to throw out his own Earthshatter. A good one, to be fair, as well. It was a good one, but everyone from Atletico was still alive. Aki has used that Transcendence, and 4 throws out his own Earthshatter. Tita, the first one caught out, traded by CKM. Atar, Evie, Atar again, all finding picks. The payload continues forward, Jordan. Can they do it in overtime? No, I don't know about that, Ben, to be honest. We've still got a couple of big ultimates here for Sydney Drop Bears. I think they almost just kind of gave that fight up, knowing that they have the opportunity for another one here with a lot of ultimates where they can cleanly wipe Athletico. Look at this. It's going to be self-destruct Graviton Surge out from Sydney Drop Bears, and if push comes to shove, they've got Rally to sustain through and the Transcendence as well. Atletico should fall short here. Yeah, this is going to be a tough fight to survive, that is for sure. 4 down, Zol going to get picked up as well. The Ransom Atletico to follow. The Sydney Drop Bears are going to pick up Blizzard World, but it was a little bit closer than maybe we expected, particularly after that first objective on the first attacking phase went so quickly into their favour as well. So congrats to the Sydney Drop Bears, 2-0 up right now, up against this Atletico lineup, but I do want to say that Athletico played parts of Blizzard World, to be fair, quite well and better than what we saw from them last week.
Definitely, and a lot better than what we saw in Nepal as well. That was a much closer map. Admittedly, it never really felt like Sydney Drop Bears was actually going to lose it, but at least there was a concerted effort there from Athletico. It's not like they just rolled over and died. So, pretty happy with that from Athletico. It still doesn't fill me with enough confidence to say that they're actually going to win a map here today, Ben, but it doesn't look like they're, like I said, just kind of falling over, which is good to see, because, we're looking for progression out from Athletico. We know that they've had a couple of weeks that they've really struggled with. This is not the week that they're going to actually pick up a win, but it is just another week where they can take some time as a roster, find some of that synergy, and work on it for next week, I think.
Yeah, even though they haven't started the season very well, you probably expect that this is going to be the matchup that you're not going to win. So take what you can for it, and if you can take a map, which is, I guess, definitely on the cards now after seeing that, I feel like it's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, I guess. I guess. I don't know if I necessarily agree with you. Look, we're getting you there. You started off saying you didn't even think anyone from the Drop Bears were going to die on Nepal. So we've come a long way since that. We have come a long way since that. I'm quite confident that someone is going to die on Sydney Drop Bears. But I don't know that we're going to be seeing a map. I'm not prepared to say it's even really a possibility right now. But I wouldn't have said that about Mindfreak either, and they were able to get Rialto, so maybe there's a bit of egg on my face. Well, guys and girls, it's half time here. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more Overwatch action. See you soon.